What's up, you guys? Chet-Guthrie, the Dream Poet here, coming to you all from the little town of Athens, Tennessee. And today, guys, I thought we would delve into a pretty well-known piece of East Tennessee history. You see, you had the war overseas, you had these GIs and these soldiers coming back from the war in the Pacific and the war in Germany and Poland and what have you, and they were returning back to normal life. Well, here in small town Athens, Tennessee, they noticed something about their government. Athens, Tennessee's government had become corrupt. There had been a good old boy system set in place during this time that caused Athens, Tennessee to have a corrupt system. You see, sheriffs, they were paying off other sheriffs to arrest certain people. They were intimidating other people to make certain votes. That way they could keep their favorite people, their appointed people, going in Athens, Tennessee's political route or grounds. And here in what is now the First Horizon Advisors, this was the GI headquarters. This is where soldiers and GI men were coming back home, and this is where they were getting the help they needed to return back to normal life. However, in this building would be the conception of something that would eventually happen. It would be the overthrowing of Athens, Tennessee's government, therefore putting into place a new one. And of course, what I am talking about today, guys, is the Battle of Athens. The Battle of Athens took place between August 1st and August 2nd in the hot days of August. You had 200 sheriff's deputies in this area protecting the polls for this election. There were between 30 and 60 soldiers who had returned home who would overthrow Athens, Tennessee's government. Now, this is the only instance of a government being overthrown in the United States of America. So without further ado, you guys, let's explore this. Let's see these locations where this fight happened. So without further ado, anchor down. In order to tell this story, we must start at this building right here. This building right here, which is now boarded up, this was once the site of the Athens Waterworks, Precinct 11. This is where there were two polling booths back in August 11th of 1946. And because of two serious issues that happened at this location, this is what caused the Battle of Athens to unfurl. Now, the first incident we must acknowledge about what happened here at this location was the fact that the Sheriff's Department here in Athens took hostage of two GI polling watchers. Now, these polling watchers, they were sent here from the city of Athens to verify the voting count of what all was going on. Now, these poll watchers, which were held against their will, they did manage to escape the sheriff's deputies. What they did was they jumped through these windows right here, jumped through the solid glass, and they ran out here into the streets. Now, the other incident that took place here that same day was that around 3 p.m., Patrol Officer CM Wendy Weiss noticed that a black farmer by the name of Thomas Gillespie was coming in here to cast his vote. Upon entry from this door right here, Patrol Officer CM Wendy Weiss will tell Tom Gillespie that he cannot come through these doors. Now, as Tom Gillespie's civil duty, he wanted to vote. But because of the corrupt political system that was going on here at the time, CM Weiss chased off Tom Gillespie, and as Tom Gillespie ran away, Wendy Weiss pulls out his gun and he will shoot the black man in the back. And not long after that, the sheriff's officials, they will move these two polling booths over to the jail. And this is where the battle took place. So without further ado, we're gonna head on to this next location. This is really beautiful. This mural was painted in 2017 by an artist from Virginia. But where I am standing at right now was the site of the old Athens Jail. Here in this spot, this is where the sheriffs stood off along with the 60 some odd GI soldiers who were fighting for the justice and the rights here in this city. During that time, the sheriffs, they had all their ballots. They were trying to seize and keep their corrupt political system going. But the American people here in Athens, they weren't having it. Here along this quiet city road, there were at least 2 cars toppled over. There were people riding out in these streets back in the days of August 1st and August 2nd of 1946. It was crazy back then. If you think about it, the cars probably stood right next to where that power pole is. And if you look closely at some of these buildings along this street, this very quiet thoroughfare, you will probably even see bullet holes that riddle these walls. Bullet holes from sheriffs shooting back at soldiers who had come back from World War II. And I find it very interesting how history works, is because while all this was playing out on August 1st, these men met out at a place called L.L. Schaefer's. Now, L.L. Schaefer's, it was a hardware store, but while it was a hardware store, it was also a meeting spot of one of the city managers that were running at the time. Now, the city manager of the time, he actually sent a message to the senator, the Tennessee state senator, during this time, asking for protection, assistance, essentially sending troops, soldiers from Tennessee's militia, and bringing them down here to guard and make sure that Athens, Tennessee had a safe election. That senator, he never responded back. And as a result of that, these men and these people in this city, they had had enough. And on August 2nd of 1946, the entire government here in Athens, Tennessee was brought to a halt. And for a very brief time, an interim government was set up. Now, I don't know how long this interim government was set up for, but when you think about it, it is the American Constitution shining through. But anyway, you guys, this has been a vlog that I've been wanting to do for a while, simply because all this is in my backyard. So I figured, why not do it? But anyway, you guys, remember, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Always means a lot. It goes to show that you all care and that you all want to see more awesome content. So without further ado, you guys, vlog over.